Yo, it's been a bit. We got 2 brand new decks of cards today. First blue basketballs I've ever earned. Honestly, all night. That's all I've been doing. Since I got home around 8:30. That's all I've been doing. Just playing around with cards, doing the tricks on now. Mastering the sleight of hand moves. They're just fun, good cards. I'd say more not ironic, more like iconic. Is that even though this is a 2021 set of cards, it still uses the old Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter logos. Because these are the decks that are always at like casinos and shit. Remember this, lads? Remember the PS2 Transformers game? Well, guess what? Today we got for PS3. I don't know when the fuck I'll be playing it, but I'm so glad I have it. Meaning I can actually fucking play it now. Who the fuck puts tape on their fucking games, you stupid motherfuckers? Oh my god. My keys aren't up yet, so I can't fucking stab him. I haven't watched the movie, since watching Age of Extinction. At home. I'm not gonna watch a movie tonight, because it's fucking 2:30 right now. But I know what I'm gonna do today. I'm gonna watch some Fools. Let's open it up. What the fuck? Why do you retell a game being a PAL game when it's fucking not? Explain that to me. Our PS3 version of the game. Cool. But not only do we have that, we also have Revenge of the Fallen. It was the first one that came. And Dark of the Moon. So, one day we're gonna get all 3 of these games played. We also have Rise of the Darkspark, which is a tie-in for Age of Extinction, but that's on PS4, and it looks fucking shit. I don't even know if there's any free roam in that game. If there isn't, it'll be fucking shit, because the best thing about these games. There's that kind of that freedom aspect. But anyways, so the 3 Transformers games. But yeah. Tonight we watched Oppenheimer. Well, not tonight, more like 12 hours ago. It was a 3:45 session, and it was a 3-hour movie, so we got out around 9. No. 8. No. 7. It's more around 7. Oh my god. It's one of those movies. Oh, Chris Nolan is famous for looking fucking his Batman movies. But the plot happens during dialogue. Like, so many, like, usually, like, there's some action sequence that set up dialogue, but the entire movie's based off dialogue. Like, it's like J. Robert Oppenheimer. He just has nightmares about nuclear fusion of like what it will look like, because he's like, it's all theoretical type shit. And it's so fascinating to me. It's like people like wholeheartedly study theory their entire lives, but never do practicality. Like, never apply it, really. So you have theoretical physicists, then there's just another one who... But something that I don't know if it's believable, how believable it can be, is that they read on the paper that they split the atom, which still is quite impossible to do, because an atom is such a tiny thing. But somehow, after reading in the newspaper, they did it. I don't know if they did it or they just like read the findings. That was really... you need to probably research how they split the atom in order to like understand that entire scene. But like, this movie had a shit ton of characters you needed to care about, or at least know of. Like, the only characters name you remembered was Groves, which is Matt Damon's character, Louis Strauss, which is Robert Downey Jr.'s character, J. Robert Oppenheimer, which is the main character, which is played by Cillian Murphy, then Emily Blunt's character, which is his wife, then Florence Pugh's character, which is Tatlock, it's dubbed to be his mistress, but he got with her before he even met Kitty, which is so bizarre because he was doing shit with Kitty. Then she met Emily Blunt's character. He met Emily Blunt's character, fucked once, impregnated her, and due to that, she divorced her third husband, then married Cillian Murphy before she started showing. So it's like, how, like, it's so bizarre. That's such a weird scenario. It's not even like, you have this fuck buddy, she gets heartbroken, but then she's inevitably the bad guy when you come back to her. Like, it's so weird. But there was a scene where she killed herself, but I could have sworn, then I read up, it's true, it's meant to be like that, it's meant to be ambiguous, where there's a shot of hands pushing her down as well. For a second I thought it was hand pushing her up, pulling her up, but no, it's pushing her down. And it's meant to be ambiguous because we don't know if he got killed or not, because it's crazy. Like, so many fucking big names, man. Like, the person who played Peter Gammy in Black Lightning's in it. Did not expect to see him. I expected to see Matt Damon, and the president, Harry Truman, is Gary Oldman, which I didn't even pick up on. Devin Bostic was in the movie. Did not pick up on that because I don't know his face too well. I know his hair from Project Rules and all that. Casey Affleck was in it. Jack Quaid was in it. Like, so many big names, and Rami Malek's not even a big character, but he just has a prominent role at the very end. So many it's one of those few movies where you know every single actor that's on the casting at the top. It's like, how, like, I just know all these actors. Like, the only other ones you may know of are, like, the Marvel ones, but it's due to you knowing the movie, therefore you know them. But, like, I haven't read a thing like that and knowing every single name before. Usually there's, like, 2 names I don't know. It's crazy. But this is, like, a movie. One, you need to know some, to an extent, the history. You need to know some events. You need to at least, those who've read American Prometheus would have a better time understanding this movie because the movie's based on it, and I didn't know it was based off that book, and it's a pretty fucking famous book. I didn't know going into it was about the book, so therefore I didn't know it was going to delve into his things about communism, all that. But then again, that's a part of his story. You know, in the 50s, he was like a security risk, even though he already somehow saved the nation by winning the arms race. Not winning the arms race, I mean, like, winning the nuclear warhead race to build a giant bomb. But that's what I thought this movie was going to be. It was about building the bomb and him having some regrets from it. But I didn't realize it was about, like, so many fucking nitty-gritty stories. Like, that's why it's 3 hours long. It's an entirely dialogue, conversational-based movie that shifts and intertwines together. We see the same scene 3 different times with 3 different perspectives. Like, one, when we see, is like, what the fuck's going on? The second one's later on in the movie is like, hang on, what's happening here? And the third one is at the last scene of the fucking movie, which is crazy. Albert Einstein's in the movie. Well, at least the character, not the real person, because he's fucking dead. But oh my god, it's such a fucking good movie, man. Honestly, like, you need to at least have watched some other Christopher Nolan movies to actually appreciate what he's done for this one, because so many people say that it all led to this movie. But the thing is, it's completely different to every other Christopher Nolan movie. It's the first one based off a person in real life. It's not an entirely original story like every other movie besides Dunkirk. But then again, Dunkirk is quite fictional because it's a movie about World War II, but the things that take place and the characters are all made up from what I remember. But, like, there is some scenes that you be like, hang on, I felt like I've seen this somewhere. Like, the one I felt that was similar the most is when he dressed up in his famous suit, tie, and hat. Because he was wearing his, like, army vest thing, but he got told to get changed. And that scene reminded me of something, and apparently it's meant to be a nod of Bruce Wayne becoming Batman for the very first time in Batman Begins. I'm like, holy shit, I see that. But I don't know, like, this movie is one of those movies you need to watch it on the big screen, or at least with a good sound system, because the sound that happens when you hear the aftershock of the nuclear warhead, then like some other like loud stuff in the movie is like, it hits you. Like, our seats shook. So it's such a fucking good. Oh my god. Christopher Nolan can do no wrong. Apparently, people will say that Christopher Nolan does one good movie, then one bad movie, then one good movie, then one bad movie. But every single movie I've seen has been fucking amazing. And I've seen The Prestige, I've seen the Dark Knight trilogy, I've seen Dunkirk, I've seen Oppenheimer. The only other ones I need to see are Tenet, Interstellar. Well, I've seen Inception. I need to see Memento, Following, Insomnia. And something you notice is that he really likes using one-word titles, Christopher Nolan. Every movie besides The Prestige and the Dark Knight trilogy all have one word, and I like that. I like how one-word titles, because you don't need to explain everything, you know? Oppenheimer, it's about Oppenheimer. Dunkirk, it's about Dunkirk. But then Inception and Interstellar, and it's kind of one of the reasons why I like one-word stuff anyway. Like how I like one-word bands like Metallica, Trivium, Nirvana, Muse, Slipknot, Korn. I like one-word names. I really do. Like, if I were to be like a superhero or whatever, I would like to have a one-word name, you know? Like Hulk, Wolverine, Superman's considered one word, Batman's considered one word, but they're technically two words. What's another one? Falcon. Deadpool is technically two words, but it's one word. Anyways, this movie is... I don't want to spoil it too much. It's one of those movies you just have to watch. Like, it's so weird. It's a 3-hour long movie. You go in it knowing it's 3 hours, but it's one of the quickest 3-hour movies I've ever fucking watched. Sure, I felt like we hit the 2-hour mark, but then again, the last hour went by like that. I was kind of expecting something else to fucking happen, but then the Oppenheimer title appears. Like, it's done. 3 hours gone like that. Like, sure, I enjoy watching all 3 Godfather movies. I kind of enjoy the third one the most. But those are 3-hour long movies as well. Those 2 movies felt way too long for what they are. This movie, honest to God, like, there's too many characters to justify it being a movie. Like, it itself felt like it could have been 2 to 3 different fucking movies, you know? One about him studying, becoming a professor and all that. One of them actually doing the Manhattan Project. The last one was the aftermath of that and growing old and all that shit. I would have loved to see that. Oh my god, this is what movies are all about. You go in knowing if it's based on history, you know some shit. And you go in and just watch it and be like, holy shit. It's so fucking good. I'm giving this movie a 7.5 to an 8 out of 10. The last time I gave anything an 8 out of 10 was the Dark Knight trilogy. You know how crazy that is? Sure, there's so many other fucking amazing movies I've watched, but it's so fucking good, man. This is such a good movie. I recommend it to fucking everyone. Sure, it's not everyone's cup of tea, and I think Barbie is a more digestible movie, especially if you watch it back to back with Oppenheimer, which is what a lot of people did opening day. It it's such a fucking wow. It's just a wow movie. Like, knowing everything is shot practical, and knowing now that they invented new cameras to shoot fucking 4K black and white footage is so crazy to me. Because how we do it, shoot 4K black and white images, we just shoot with a 4K camera, then monochrome it in post. But they created IMAX cameras surely just to shoot in black and white. You know how fucking crazy that is? They invented new cameras for this movie. And like at the beginning I was confused as to why, but then as time went on, because I thought it was like every single scene that RDJ's in is black and white. But then there was this one scene where he was also in that wasn't black and white. So what we find out is that the scenes that are in black and white are Louis Strauss's point of view, perspective. Then the other ones are essentially Oppenheimer's perspective, and who are other characters in the scene. But that's purely because it leads up to Louis Strauss being like the main antagonist in this movie. Sure, you could argue that a movie doesn't need an antagonist. You can have like maybe an event being an antagonist, but it just, like, you don't expect it because you kind of like this character, and since it's RDJ, you already like him as an actor through whether it be Shock Thunder, him being Iron Man, or Sherlock Holmes. You expect him to be a good character, but he's a bad character. Sure, you kind of felt bad for him when Oppenheimer just made fun of him in Congress. But that's the only time you felt bad of him. Every other time you kind of not liked him. Then when you found out the people were thinking that happened at the end, oh my god! Like it. You go into this movie thinking it'll be about the Manhattan Project and Oppenheimer making it and his being around it, but no, it morphs to this extraordinary story that revolves around the Manhattan Project being the catalyst for some of these other events. It's almost like in his brain he always wanted to do the Manhattan Project because he was always so interested in the dying of a star. Like, what happens then? Because we already know that matter changes, is never destroyed. So what happens to the dying of a star? And the dying of a star, we know now, is a supernova. It explodes. So that's that's what a nuclear bomb is. It's technically a controlled supernova. Then the hydrogen bomb, which is fucking 10 times more deadly. Because it's such a dense fucking gas. Ugh. You know what's crazy? That Hiroshima was only 15 kilotons. But an H-bomb is 120 kilotons. There's also the theory that would ignite all the hydrogen in the atmosphere if it went wrong. Tsar bomber. Let's look that shit up. Tsar bomber. Tsar bomber is the single most powerful device ever deployed on Earth. When was it? How big was the Tsar bomber compared to Hiroshima? Let's look at that. Let's look at that. The Tsar bomber packed a punch of over 50 megatons, which is the equivalent of 500 million tons of conventional explosives. That's 10 times more powerful than all of the munitions during the World War II, and over 1,500 times the force of the atomic bombs dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki combined. That's fucking crazy. Holy shit. That's fucking crazy, man. Damn. The little boy and Fat Man are the names. Damn. Damn. Zabomba had a width of the mushroom cloud had a width of 95 kilometers. Holy shit. What was Castle Gravo then?
Let me tell you about the most powerful bomb ever made. It's called the Tsar Bomber, and it's a true monster of destruction. This thing was so powerful it could wipe out entire cities with ease. It was a hydrogen bomb that was developed by the Soviet Union in the early 1960s during the height of the Cold War. It was designed to be a deterrent against the United States, and it was the most powerful weapon ever created by human beings. When the Tsar Bomber was detonated on the 30th of October 1961, it released an estimated yield of 50 megatons of TNT. To put that in perspective, that's about 3,800 times more powerful created by human beings. When the Tsar Bomber was detonated on the 30th of October 1961, it released an estimated yield of 50 megatons of TNT. To put that in perspective, that's about 3,800 times more powerful than the atomic bomb that was dropped on Hiroshima. The explosion was so massive it created a mushroom cloud that was over 40 miles high. But of course, this bomb has never been used. It's simply too dangerous and too destructive to be unleashed on an enemy. Instead, it was just a show of force, a warning to the world that the Soviet Union was a superpower not to be messed with.
It's fucking terrifying, man. Damn, it was designed to be 100 megatons, but they only dialed it back because they didn't want to fucking destroy the world. Imagine if they didn't do that, there was a higher chance for the atmosphere to burn up. Holy shit. How do they drop these massive bombs then? Like, does do they have to math it out like a specific altitude with a specific type of jetliner that like can escape enough kilometers? You know. I was dropped by a parachute. Holy shit. That's just fucking crazy. And the Trinity bomb was the one that was tested in New Mexico, right? Yeah. Damn. They created new... They... Wait, what? It created a new rock because that's crazy. Damn. Yeah, they didn't even talk about the unintentional victims of Trinity. Trinity nuclear tests fallout reached 46 states, Canada, Mexico, study finds. Damn. Then what was Chernobyl? I still need to watch Chernobyl. Only 31 people died at Chernobyl? Damn. But it could be 50. Damn. It's gonna take over 20,000 years for Chernobyl to be inhabitable. Sure, humans could evolve within that time frame to actually withstand that radiation. So there's only two have actually been used. But then only two have been used in a war effort. World War II, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. That's why they're famous. But then again, there's between the years 1945 and 1996, of the over... Wait, all told, of the over 2,000 nuclear explosions detonated worldwide between 1945 and 1996, 25% or over 500 bombs were exploded in the atmosphere, over 200 by the United States, over 200 by the Soviet Union, about 20 by Britain, about 50 by France, and over 20 by China. So there was over 2,000 tests, but it yielded twice. That's terrifying to know, because they were afraid, because it was all theoretical, because they didn't, it was... Because the famous line in the movie that Groves wanted a 0% chance of it destroying the world. Because if that happened, we wouldn't be here. You know, radiation would have given every single person on Earth radiation poisoning, and everyone would have died in the next coming years. So you can argue that they would have easily, they would have had kids, yada yada yada. But then again, like, you can't withstand radiation poisoning. Like, you can't... 2 generations can't evolve to withstand it. So, like, sure, you can have a kid, but that kid would have died because of the radiation poisoning. Fucking instantly, you know? That's fucking crazy, man. I didn't know that. I didn't know about Tsar Bomba. Having it being that much bigger than both of them combined. Anyways, it's a good fucking movie. I don't know when I'll rewatch that movie. It's one of those movies where, like, you think you watch it once and it's good forever. No, Christopher Nolan's not gonna get a sequel. I don't think it needs one. His only movie that would be worthy of a sequel, maybe, Inception. I would probably another Batman universe movie, whether it be with Robin or not. Um, anyways, I'm done. This entire stream was just talking about the movies. It's a good fucking movie. It really is. Anyways, adios, amigos.